Welcome to the Astrotherapy Podcast. I am your host, Ciela Winter, and I am thrilled to dive deep into the inner realms of provocative thought while discovering an array of astrological and psychological insights to accompany us on this quest of self-inquiry. Hi. Hello. Welcome to the impromptu studio and to this week's journal entry. October 14th, South Node solar eclipse. The question today, who is at war? At one point, I wrote a blog about the following statement. We cannot change the world until we accept we are the world. This is the new conversation. Today I am steeping in this phrase. What does it mean to me? Why did I once announce this to myself? And what is the conversation I'm actually longing to have, and with whom? And for whatever reason, today feels very potent, so deeply alive, painful at moments, uncomfortable at others, and ultimately so intrinsically beautiful in the possibility that lives within it. I've recently returned from a prayer adventure. Not just any prayer, one that called to me from afar and just would not let me go. A returning home of sorts, to God, to myself, and to my brothers and sisters too. I still need some time to process what I've just lived through, as the invitation felt like a cosmic acupuncture point, delineating a threshold crossing in my life. I definitely feel different on this side of it too, and I am still integrating the miracles. So stay tuned. For sure, I'll be sharing more in a future journal and podcast. So it's really wild and disorienting in a way to be so focused on love and God and prayer for several days without reprieve, only to return to the outside world and learn of the atrocities, the hatred that lives inside of war and the agony that accompanies it. To feel so empathetic with humanity and experience the distortions of integrity that are stretched between realities is at times nightmarish. And then I return to what I shared previously above, about not being able to change the world until I accept that I am the world. I remember powerfully dark moments of inner exploration over the course of the last 20 years, in which I have been diligently studying my psyche with fervor. I recall one scene in a deep inner hell realm that nearly took my breath away in sheer terror. I'll never forget this. It was as if an army that was so vastly overwhelming was made up of these facets of the unconscious ego that were scrambling to destroy all that was good inside of me. Literally armed and dangerous soldiers ready to siege my innocence and my virtue. I realized then that there was a war inside of my soul, that the fight between good and evil actually was playing out inside of me, and that I had been completely oblivious to it. It was in that moment of revelation that I began to notice that every aspect of that which is deemed evil and dark, scary and terrifying in the outer world is also a reflection of the inner world. And that the more that I differentiated myself from that which was bad, dark, etc., I was actually becoming more blind to my own shadow. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that over there. So I was becoming blind to my shadow, blind to my responsibility and the very doorways of liberation that exist within me. The cost of liberation, and you've probably heard me say this before, but the cost of liberation is expensive, and it costs beloved and familiar egos, attachments, and ways of being that are not only useless in the higher realms of consciousness, they are absolutely not invited. So in order for me to be able to pay my debts for my unconscious behavior, I have to also observe and address this behavior and reconcile it with my being. Maybe we can talk more about that someday too, how that process goes. I actually wrote a book about it called The Inner Journey, if you're interested. It's on Audible, in which I do narrate and take you through my own inner process. You can also read it. It's something that is very dear to me, and I am incredibly inspired to do this work. It's not for the faint of heart, but neither is life. Have you been paying attention lately? It's quite extraordinary, fully resonant with immense challenge and unpredictable beauty. So when the inner wars are not attended to, they become manifest and materialize in the flesh. Much like if I do not do my inner work, I will instead project my emotions and reactions upon the nearest character in the story of my life, whether that is a beloved, a friend, or an enemy. And today is also a South Node solar eclipse in Libra. All our relations are up for review. Tendencies and habitual expressions of relating come under the magnifying glass of the conscience. Eclipses are a powerful time to listen and let go. Listen, let go. Observe the resistance, the ache to hold on to what has been, and liberate yourself if you dare. Each human will feel the impact of this release. This solar energy is cut momentarily, which actually has the power to sever the past from the present. Participation is requested, and your intention and awareness are required. When war is waging in the external realms, I go deeper into my own soul to do the work that needs to be done. It's a privilege to be over here. So I also have responsibility in doing the work that I can do in the comfort of my own home. I ask myself where I can bring peace where there is conflict. Where can I become a sanctuary of rest rather than a destructive and unpredictable source of anxiety? Where am I out of alignment with my Creator versus aligned and primed for exceptional results? Now is the time to look in. When hatred and fear are manifest, it is not a time to hide or look away. Rather, in my opinion, it is a time to ask where hatred and fear might live in my unconscious and go to work. The war may be out there for some, right here for others, and for others within. May this eclipse season be fruitful for diving into the depths of healing all our relations and letting go of what is false and destructive or unuseful to the whole of life. All my best to you, and please receive the peace of my heart that lives inside these words.